now Donald Trump's like, okay, well, someone's going to pay, and it's going to be the head of the NSA, because this is the guy that should have known better. He should have better protected us. And could he have protected them? Well, that's not really entirely clear, in part because he was sworn in under the other team. And I'm just going to mention something. Like, here you are putting in a head of CIA, you got a head of DNI, you got a new, Secretary of Defense. Like, maybe you need a new head of the NSA, knowing that the NSA actually can listen to everything, okay? They're like CIA on steroids. So maybe in this case, you do actually want to have your own person, your own loyalist. It kind of seems like a logical thing. And yet, for whatever reason, he hadn't put that person in. Laura Loomer was going on and on about vetting. The left is furious with her. The media is furious with her. They're saying she has too much power because somehow she apparently clued Donald Trump into the fact that not everybody had been vetted. And this resulted in 4 NSC people getting the heave-ho, along with the head of the NSA and his second lieutenant person. Here's Laura Loomer talking about this on actually Steven Crowder's show recently.
I just think that there needs to be more appreciation demonstrated to Trump loyalists, because unfortunately, we do see a lot of gatekeeping in the GOP. And the thing that I harped on the most during the campaign season was, the importance of vetting. We need to vet people so that we don't have the same nightmare that we saw happen in the first administration, where people who are disloyal to President Trump curry favor once the election's over, after, shit talking him the entire election season. And then they just get to go, oh, you know what? I'm going to sneak in, and I'm going to reap all the benefits and the glory and the praise of getting a White House job.
Sure.
I thought that we were keeping a binder full of receipts. I don't know if some of the people on the campaign meant it when they said they were keeping the receipts, but I meant it.
Yeah.
I literally have a binder of receipts, and I know who's loyal and I know who is disloyal.
Okay, so that's Laura, and she's making this point because, you know what, this is a president who's up against it in different ways, right? In ways that, frankly, Joe Biden didn't even have to deal with, maybe until the very, 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 very end. And she went out there and she did all this digging, and she's a good reporter, and she's, she knows her way around Google. And basically, she figured out these were all Biden appointees. And do you really want a Biden person running the NSA? Now, the left would tell you, oh, it doesn't matter because this is nonpartisan, et cetera. Well, this guy was, one of General Milley's people. So do you really want a General Milley person there running the NSA, knowing that the NSA is probably spying on you? I think it's a fair, you know what? There's a reason to be paranoid right now, okay? There's a reason to be paranoid. If you're Donald Trump and you're on his team, of course you're paranoid. You're paranoid because, for goodness sakes, ladies and gentlemen, look at what they did. I mean, they tried to bankrupt him. We'll get to Letitia in a second. To the tune of he now owes more than $500 million, $500 million. They tried to throw him in jail. They got the mugshot, which he's proud of, as he should be, courtesy of Fannie Willis down in Fulton County, Georgia. You got Alvin Bragg, who was trying to, who did finally get the criminal conviction that they were so desiring. I mean, this is nuts. And then on top of it, look, of course he doesn't trust anything because he was nearly killed in Pennsylvania. All right. So I think that Laura Loomer saying, gee, maybe you want your own person in charge at the NSA. You want the deputy at the NSA to be your own person. You want to make sure that everybody on your NSC team is really rooting for you as opposed to the other side. I mean, I think that's kind of just exactly what it should be, right? Given this is unique. Like, he has a lot of detractors, a lot of people that really, really fundamentally don't like him, but might be willing to take the gig, or a lot of never-Trumper type Republicans that are half in, half out. Think about what went down the other day with poor Elon. We love Elon, do we not, here on this show? Look at what Elon's done. And by the way, he's exposing all kinds of stuff, and there's more to come. But Donald Trump has a meeting with his cabinet members. And within minutes of that closed-door meeting ending, Politico has an article that Elon Musk is out. We led with this the other day. And I was like, well, it took me a while actually to get on air because I was trying to vet it, et cetera. We don't want to just entirely go with what Politico's saying. But bottom line, he's going to be out the end of May. Anyway, that was always the intention. I think it caught Elon by surprise. It took him about 6 hours to actually respond via tweet. And now Donald Trump saying on the plane just last night on Air Force One, he's going to miss Elon. He likes smart people, and the Elon has made a major contribution. But eventually everybody knew he was going to go back to his businesses. I get back to, how did that leak? Somebody, one of the cabinet members, decided to make a phone call to one of their reporter friends or text their reporter friend. And then all of a sudden, it's everywhere. It's on Bloomberg, it's on Politico, it's on Daily Mail. It was everywhere. So if you can't trust your top lieutenants because they just run their mouth and they're on their phones and you give them confidential information and say, Elon's probably going to be phasing out, and you're trusting them, and they run off to the media with it, that's pretty darn bad. I mean, look, the media is they're just a bad bunch, and they can't keep a secret, and they love to chat, and there's some really, really seedy connection there between politics and the media. And I say that, having been a member of the media as long as I have been, but I still don't really consider myself an insider in that way, only in that, look, I quadruple check everything, right? I would never go with anything based on one source. I have multiple sources. I would never betray a source. I would never betray my boss, for goodness sakes. You're in a cabinet meeting and your boss, the president of the United States, says, Elon's probably going to be winding down. And the first thing you do is you run out and call Politico. Somebody did it. Somebody did it. So Laura is not wrong. She's not wrong. And okay, the left doesn't like her. The left doesn't like her because maybe she has some influence, because Donald Trump is like, okay, this girl actually, she's got it going on. She's out there doing the research on the people that are working for the NSA. She's done all this research on the judges, right? And all the sort of strange connections that say the judge who's now actually taking that Signal Gate case, what his background is, who his daughter works for. It happens to be an NGO that is defending some of these MS-13 gang members. He's, by the way, the judge that wanted to stop the plane midair. Those are important things to know.